Lena, I want to cut you. Lena, I got to cut you off. This is Oakbrook Police Chief Jim Kruger.
Sure. Police of the Village of Oakbrook. With me is the Fire Chief, Chief James Airy, and also Mr. Tim Geigas, the General Manager of Oakbrook Center. At approximately 5:44 p.m., an officer who was working a holiday detail at the Nordstrom's store overheard gunshots coming from the area of the mall. She immediately radioed in of the gunshots and came out to investigate and observed that there were two subjects that were engaged in gunfire with each other. We subsequently have the police en route to investigate. Those suspects then ran into the Nordstrom store and tried to flee the area. At this time, we have 4 gunshot victims that were transported to area hospitals. They're to be known in non-life-threatening conditions at this time, and one other victim that suffered a twisted ankle fleeing from the area. It is our understanding that the 2 suspects involved in the shooting were known to each other and shot at each other, and the other victims were injured by ricochet gunfire that the 2 suspects had fired at each other. Currently, we believe one of the people that are shot and are in the hospital being treated is one of the offenders from this incident. We also have one other suspect person of interest in custody, and we may or may not still have one person at large at this time. We have approximately 100 police officers from area agencies, including the entire staff of the Oakbrook Police Department, here on the scene to clear the mall. We are currently clearing each store by store. There are still shoppers and store staff in some of the stores, and we've asked them to shelter in place, until which time we have SWAT and tactical teams going store to store, clearing those stores to make sure that if we can locate the potential missing offender. At this time, that's all the information I have. I'll take very few questions, because then we'll do this again in about an hour as I get updates.
Chief Kruger, to be clear, it was 2 individuals shooting at each other. This was a shootout between 2 individuals. Is that correct?
That's the information we have at this time.
And the 4 people hit by ricochet gunfire, you're saying, are they associated with those 2 individuals, or some of them may have just been shoppers walking by?
I can't answer that at this time. We don't know if any of them were companions of the 2 individuals or just shoppers that were in the area.
Well, you're saying one of the 4 may have been known to one of the 2 who were shooting each other and is...
Or potentially one of the shooters.
Or potential, okay.
That's correct.
Do we know what this was, what started all of this?
No, we do not yet. I'm sorry?
Where exactly did the shooting happen?
This occurred in one of the corridors. Oakbrook Center is an open-air mall, and it happened in one of the corridors near the Ann Taylor store, just adjacent to the Nordstrom store.
Geographically, what part of the mall is that?
That would be the eastern part of the mall.
Ann Taylor and Nordstrom.
That's correct.
Chief, about when did this happen again?
We were, the officer originally heard the shots at 5:44 p.m.
And how many shots?
I can't give you that at this time.
What kind of weapons were you?
I also don't have that information yet at this time.
One of the shooters you think is still at large, though?
Potentially. We're still clearing the mall, and our investigators are reviewing any video that's available in the area.
And these are 2 adult males that were shooting at each other?
That's correct.
The 4 who were injured, what are their genders and ages?
I don't have that yet at this time.
Chief, I'm sorry, did you say conditions yet? Do you have
just they're believed to be in non-life-threatening conditions as far as, yes.
Do you have male, female?
No, I don't.
Chief, just to clarify, so 4 victims, of the 4, one of them is believed to be
Potentially one of the people involved, that's correct.
And again, non-life-threatening injuries?
That's what the fire department's told me.
Can you characterize where on the body some of these injuries?
No, just that some of it was ricochet, and I don't know if that meant lower extremities or not. I don't have that information.
One of the victims had a twisted ankle?
That would be the 5th. That's correct. Right.
But 4 hit by ricochet gunfire?
Well, 4 hit by gunfire, 3 of the 4 potentially by ricochet gunfire or stray gunshots. That's correct. I'm sorry?
3 suspects in total?
But that's what we're investigating right now. We know that we have one that was potentially one of the people that was shot. We have one in custody that we're questioning, and there potentially would be a 3rd one that we're looking for.
What do you want to say to the public? I mean, it's 2 days before Christmas, people out doing like last-minute holiday shopping. It's
Well, I can tell you that the police department, ever since our well-known video from a few weeks ago at one of our other stores, we've continued to increase our police presence. And as you can see, even though this incident occurred, we had an officer with an earshot that was there to be able to respond immediately. The police department has been taking this very seriously to make sure that the mall in our community is kept safe. This is just a very unfortunate incident that is completely out of character for our area. We would never have anything like this occur, and it's very unfortunate, and we're going to do everything we can to ensure that nothing like this happens again.
Situation right now, do you believe that the person of interest, the suspect who is still at large, is that person still on property?
That's what we're trying to investigate right now, and that's why we have SWAT teams going from store to store to clear them and to make sure that no one is hiding in place.
Can you describe what happened at the mall immediately after the gunfire? Did stores go on lockdown? Were people sheltering in place in the back? What was happening?
Very quickly, a lot of people fled, but we did have stores locked down right away as their procedure. We had the mall and the mall managers here. They have a communication system that they're able to put information out to all mall employees and staff immediately to alert them of an emergency, and as well as our department responded, of course, immediately. We immediately called for mutual aid.
Were customers brought to back rooms? I mean, or they were just sheltering?
Yes, we believe at this time there are still many patrons that may have been in some of the stores that are in back rooms with the employees.
Are any of the offenders possibly back there? Are you searching for those?
That's why the SWAT teams are going store to store.
Chief, can you tell us which hospitals the victims where they're being treated at right now?
Just at area hospitals. I have that information, but I'm going to hold on to it right now to make sure that those hospitals are prepared for any kind of media attention.
Have you ever had any kind of shooting like this?
We actually, about the last time of anything even similar was a security officer who shot an individual, and that was over 9 years ago.
You mentioned the increased police presence after the video we all saw. Was this officer in place today because of that?
A lot of the stores had, on their own, had requested additional resources or were paying for additional staff to come in, and Nordstrom's had historically every holiday season, as well as a couple of the other stores in the mall, employed additional police officers to be on site.
Chief, you mentioned there were 3 potential suspects here. Obviously, the shootout. The third person, what was their involvement, or how are they?
As far as we know, all we know at this time is that person may or may not have been a companion of one of the individuals.
So
Do
again,
you have a description of that individual or an identity of that individual?
Of the third person, just that they were wearing a puffy coat, and we've got a blue puffy coat and a very limited description, and of course with a mask on.
So again, potentially 3 out of the 4 people hit by gunfire had nothing to do with these 2 people shooting each other. May have possibly been just walking by.
That's the information we have at this time.
When you say ricochet, what do you mean? Bullets were bouncing off things, or this was airing?
Well, that's how it was relayed to me, but until that is all looked at, we have evidence technicians en route that will be looking at the scene, recovering casings, and also looking at any bullet paths to see if there was anything that did strike anything prior.
Were any weapons recovered?
Yes, we do have at least 1 weapon recovered. I'm not able to tell you that at this time.
The person who may be at large, was that one of the 2 people shooting at each other, or was that the companion?
Potentially one of the shooters. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.